Hey up troops, A Littleton here again with another video, and this time we're who's controlling this? That really stings. This time we're going to talk about Zero. Zero is drastically underrated in the current meta. He's such a good operator. He has 4 Argus cams plus 2 drones, so 6 cams in total. 4 of those cams can shoot lasers. He has a great gun, or 2 options for a great gun. He has a Gon 6, he has hard breach charges. He's a great operator, and he's Sam Fisher. I think so. Even top players like Foxy, who tweeted a tier list yesterday, also think he's an S tier operator. So just before we get into the good stuff, I just want to talk quickly about a comment that I got on my original Zero video that I made a while back now from someone called Lucid 8 Nightmare. That comment is this: my video editing skills are insane now. So Lucid 8 Nightmare has asked some questions and I want to answer them. 1, because I said I would, and 2, because I feel like other people might have similar questions. So Lucid 8 Nightmare says, I appreciate what you've done here. No worries. I would prefer an update though. I would like to know things like, is the Argos bulletproof on the side that the lens isn't? The answer is no. If the Argos camera is facing this way, you can still get shot through the soft wall. Now, the defenders, which you'll find out in this video in a second, the defenders won't know it's there until you burrow it through to the other side. But if they do shoot that area, it will still get destroyed. It's not bulletproof. How much damage is done per shot with the Argos? 5 HP. Do hitboxes make a difference in damage with the Argos? No, it's 5 HP whether you hit them in the toe or the head. Why is it important that you can't modify his muzzle? I'm assuming you're talking about his pistol here. How and why is his pistol important to be automatically silenced? Purely because he is Sam Fisher. The character, he comes from a game called Splinter Cell, where he was a really sort of stealthy character. It all stems from that. It's nothing to do with Siege, really. The character existed before Siege, where he was quite stealthy. That's why you can't modify the pistol muzzle. Most people say he's very strong attacking operator. He is. His guns and utility are ace. They are. He's extremely versatile. He is. After all of that, it's typically silence. Ha! Just kidding. Are they afraid of sharing exactly how valuable he is? No, I'll tell you, because 4 cameras that you can fire anywhere you want to, that can go through walls, reinforced walls, floors, hatches, whatever, is incredibly valuable for a team. Knowledge and intel is everything in Siege. If you can tell your teammates where players are, you're going to win that round. Coupled with the fact you can shoot a laser and destroy the odd thing, it's just really powerful. It's a really powerful gadget. Imagine he had an extra 4 drones. You'd think that was pretty good, right? Well, he sort of does, but you can fire him through a launcher and they can go through walls as well. Plus, he has the hard breach charges that speaks for itself. You can open hatches and walls that are reinforced. Plus, the Gon 6, you can get rid of castle barricades, Malusi banshees, whatever else you want to get rid of. He's got almost everything in his kit to deal with almost any scenario. Plus, he gives a load of information for his team if you're playing with other players. That's why he's good. He brings everything. Intel, destruction, hard breaches, a great gun, or 2 great guns if you like the MP7 on attack. Just a really good operator overall. With that out of the way, Lucid 8 Nightmare, thanks for the comments and the questions. I think that's enough waffling. Let's just get stuck into it. Right, then we'll get started on border, and I'll show you 3 spots here for when you're attacking, and it can be attacking anywhere, because when it comes to border, you want to take the top 4 no matter what site you're attacking. So first thing to do is spawn here on Valley, walk up to this traffic cone, and you want to be looking towards this area here. Now, it's not a, you can't really see with the 1.5, but there's a girder type thing that I'm aiming at here. Aim in that general direction. You can't really get it wrong, because it will stick to something, and you'll see what you attach to. You're aiming for this type of thing here, but sometimes you hit the ceiling, sometimes you hit the girder, but it'll still go in this area. But look at this for a flank cam now. You can see all of lobby. You can see almost double door. You can see double door, but not quite far into it. You can see the top east door, all break balcony into break as well. Just a really solid cam for any flank cam. World class. And how easy is that right at the start of the round? Right, the next one I'm going to show you can be done 2 ways. If you don't spawn Valley and you decide to spawn on East, you also fire a cam straight from spawn. But what I tend to do when I spawn Valley is just run straight up here, run to the roof, run over to this dome. I know it takes like 20-30 seconds at the start of the round, but your team will be forever grateful. Go onto this angle here and just hit it sort of anywhere here or anywhere here. You'll see what you get from this as well. I mean, look at that. Now, the reason I say I don't like spawning East is because the one you can do from East, like, fires this side. You spawn over here, right, East? And from East, you can fire it into this side of the dome. The problem is, when you fire it on that side of the dome, you can only view... I'm pointing... Oh, sorry, I've just pointed with my hand, like as if you can see what I'm pointing at. Obviously, you can't see what I'm pointing at. The point is, if your camera lands here, you can't see like this area and this area. You can only look back down this way. Do you know what I mean? This is a much better side to be able to see. You can even see into a little bit of archives there as well, a little bit of fountain. You're much better on this side of the dome, in my opinion. But I mean, another world-class camera. And finally, the other one that I do. So straight away there, by the way, we've got the flank cam there and the flank cam there within 30 seconds of the round starting. Honestly, he's such an underrated operator. The next thing I'll do is run down here, open the front door, and fire your zero cam up in the corner here, but don't take it through to the other side. You leave that there now. I don't know if any of you know, but zero cam's recently changed. So what used to happen is if you fire a zero cam at this wall, it would always be the case that the zero cam would penetrate through the wall first. And that's not the case now. It stays on the side that you fired it at. So we have no like idea that there's a camera on the other side of that wall, right? We take it through the other side and we can now see it. Take it back through the other side. And you can see it leaves the imprint that it's there. But if we go around this side, when the camera's on, the light would be this side, right? So before you take it through the floor, there's no trace of that being underneath. Let's go and have a look. So it's right on armory door. I hate those beepers, man. So there's absolutely zero trace of that camera being there. So what you want to do is wait for all the commotion on the breach to happen. You know, when like Ace is opening the breach and Cade or Bandit's playing around here, and there's always a bit of a fight here early doors. When there's like a minute and a half gone in the round, jump on that cam, flick it up and just leave it there, and I can guarantee you'll get a load of information from it because defenders will be holding here. Defenders aren't stood here at this point, so they won't see it unless they're peeking the door. But if they are peeking the door, they're peeking it like this and you can't see that. But they're not really going to be peeking the door because this breach is going to be open. So there's a massive hole in this breach here. A defender's not going to be holding that because they're going to get smoke from here. So because of that, this rarely gets seen, but you can't do this at the start of the round. But just to summarize there, by the way, imagine having these on your team as like for flank cams. 1, 2, and 3 straight away. Absolutely world class. He's honestly, I love talking about Zero because he's so underrated. End of the day, shoot the jukebox. Oh, absolutely aggressively loud. Don't know why I couldn't say aggressively there. Right, this can be done. We're on to Chalet. You might be able to spot that. This can be done on any map where there's a soft floor with a camera that you want to get above. I don't see many people doing this. I try and do it myself, but it can be dangerous. You've got to come through the front door of Chalet for a start, which is never a safe thing to do. But this is just one example where you can use this idea, and there's loads of maps you can do. So what we want to do is make a hole in the floor. I don't always get the exact right angle, so forgive me if I don't. I have. Unbelievable. I can't believe I've done it first time. And what we want to do is get the camera on this pillar. We don't want it to be tucked in behind the pillar, because you won't see as much. And again, if you tuck it in behind that pillar, you won't see as much. You want to be on the... I'm calling it a pillar. It's not a pillar. It's a beam. But you want to be on that wood that sticks down, right? Don't forget, you can fire these through floors. Stick that there. I can guarantee you that 99 times out of 10... Well, defenders won't notice this camera go in that area there because they're just not looking up here at all. And look at the information you can get from it. It's absolutely wild. There's another couple of places where you can get cameras on the floor. Over here in Trophy, if we just throw a drone up Trophy stairs quickly. I can't remember the exact lineup for this. I probably should have done that first. But you can do exactly the same thing here in Trophy in the corner. Have I just shot? No, I thought I'd shot my own drone there. No, I just shot the camera. Once you've got through the floor, get up in the corner of Trophy. You can replace their default cam with your own cam. Again, you get such a good angle on all the Trophy there. But this can be done on anywhere where there's a soft wall. This isn't limited just to Chalet, obviously. I mean, something that's pretty obvious. I don't need to tell you how to do this, but good zero spots are going to be behind where the defender's looking. So if you're on this window, getting a zero cam in here or right up in the corner will work so often. As long as you try and mask it with a bit of sound. So if you've got a teammate on rappel as well, and they can destroy this barricade, like you destroy this barricade first, they then destroy the barricade as you're firing the camera up there. But I mean, look how well that's hidden. It's so well hidden. Even if you're on this, the defenders are rarely going to notice it because whenever they're here, they're always looking in this direction. Do you know what I mean? That's why you don't want to be putting your cameras anywhere up here or up here. You want to be making it so that it's behind the defenders whilst they're looking where they want to look. But I use Chalet as an example there just to show that you can fire cams through floors. Don't forget, I know like they don't work 100% of the time because defenders are going to hear them sometimes. Just make sure you try and mask the sound a little bit with a teammate if you can. Another thing Zero's really, really good at, by the way, you might notice I've changed my resolution from the last round here. I've just gone to 3.2 from 4.3. I don't know why, I just fancied a change. I know it's mid-video, which is a bit weird, but just bear with me on that. So one thing Zero's really good at is, when you're attacking sites below, is taking control above and then prepping cameras ready. Don't put them through the floor just yet, like what we talked about on border, but just get ready to put them through. So I'm just going to go on my drone down here now and show you. You see the difference in ceiling here? In fact, you know what? Go downstairs, Andy. Don't be lazy. Get downstairs. You see the difference in ceiling? This is solid ceiling. Can't shoot through this. This is the fireplace floor above. And you'll see that the fireplace floor above matches pretty much all of this down to here. And this is where you go into dining and the back of fireplace there. So you can't get cameras through this, obviously, but you can through this. So based on that, from the lobby upstairs, you're going to be able to get a camera in the main site room of Snowmobile, in Connector, and also here in Wine as well. Now, you want to be trying to get the camera up there, ideally. So one thing I love to do is come into library. I don't do this as often as I should, to be fair. So when I say I love to do it, people who watch the stream will be like, I've never seen him do that. But I do it sometimes. I need to do it more. You want to be in library, enter through library, and then you just want to learn where these spots are. Now, getting the one in Connect is dead easy because you can use the hatch as a reference, right? So that one's easy peasy. The next one you want to... No, we want to be back on the drone. The next one you want to know is right in the back corner here of Wine, and it's going to be at the back of Fireplace. And you can use the end of the seal, like end of the soft floor as a reference. So you can go here. And then the next one you want, I can never remember this one if I'm brutally honest with you, is here, right in the corner of the site. And that is right there. Now, from there, don't send the cameras through the floor yet until your team's ready for you or until you're ready to do something with it. Again, you don't want to be doing this within the first 30 seconds of a round, first 60 seconds of a round. You need to wait for the breach to be open so the defenders have had to start taking cover behind things. Then from there, look at the different 3 angles we can get. We can see a decent chunk of Snowmobile, but also the key thing here is the bottom of main stairs and also behind this filing cabinet that people play behind quite a lot. The other one at the back of Wine, I mean, this speaks for itself. You can see our load from here. You can see a little bit of the back of Connector. But we don't need to worry about that too much because we can also have a cam all the way through Connector as well. Now, bear in mind, as a Zero player, as soon as you've learned these 3 spots, you can just go bang, bang, bang. It's going to take you less than... In fact, you're probably best doing it on the other side of Mez. It's going to take you, what, less than 10 seconds to fire those cameras out? No, you're not best doing it here as well because you can't get an angle on it. Shut up, Andy. You prune. So you're best from here, just going bang, bang, bang. 3 cameras that are going to give so much information to your team. Granted, they're not bulletproof. If they get seen, they'll get shot. But you've also got hard breach charges. You can open the hatch if you want to. It's just a great op to play. Like, why don't... I tell you why people don't play Zero more, and it's understandable. The reason people don't play Zero more is because it requires teamwork to be effective. Having those 3 cameras there is great, but if no one's watching those cameras for me, or if I'm on those cameras and I've got no one to tell that someone's in Connector here, then that's where he sort of falls down a little bit. But if you're playing with 2 or 3 people, or at least 2 people, if not more, then having those cameras there, I mean, how insane is that? The information there across all of those cameras is wild. Onto sunny Coastline then. What a lovely yacht that is. That always throws me how it moves. It throws me every time. Like in the corner of my eye, I see something moving and I'm like, wait, what's that? I'm going to show you 3 cameras here. There's technically 4 you could do, but we're going to be using these vents. Now, these definitely will require teamwork because they don't see much for long, but they see very critical parts of what you want to look at. So, I'll put them down first. You want 1 over the Cool Vibe stairs, and then 1 over the main stairs on this side. And then there's a 3rd camera we're going to do, which never ever gets destroyed. Although I say never ever gets destroyed, it probably is going to get destroyed now. The 3rd camera is going to go right up in that top corner. By the way, completely off topic, although not really off topic. Can you see the crosshair for Zero? Can you see the lines moving as I move around different things? So there's an arrow down and a flat line on top. There's 2 flat lines. There's an arrow down and above. And it's the same on the screen of the August launcher as well. It matches what's on there. See how the August launcher screen's a green line? It's got the arrow down. Now it's got the arrow up and down. It's the same. So what that means is once you fire the camera, it means that the camera is going to be able to look back on itself, as in towards the direction you shot it from, but it's not going to be able to go through the other side because this is a solid wall. If you fire it up, you can see that he's not going to be able to look either way because he's just going to fire it off into the sky. Nothing's going to happen. Oh my god, I've just fired the last camera. That's annoying. However, what this means... I've just hit the mouse button on my keyboard, by the way, so we're not re-recording this. What the arrow both sides means is it's on a soft wall and it's going to be able to penetrate through the wall. So you can see there's the solid wall. It can't go through the other side, but it can loop back this direction. That means it can go through both sides. Anyway, my point is, fire the camera over there. Now, let me show you what we can see here. This one's fairly obvious. You're going to be able to see all long bar and most of Vars and sort of top cool vibes. This will very rarely get destroyed. I don't know why defenders don't look up here. They just don't. And it's a really, really good cam with loads of information. Obviously, there'll be a rotate here as well, so you can watch that too. Now, this is the one I fired on the roof. Ignore that. The other two are watching the flanks of both stairs. So you see what I was saying about you can't see much, but you can see enough. So here's main stairs, and here's cool vibes. So these are ideal flank cams that I guarantee you these will never, ever get destroyed. No one's looking up the vents, right? But you can see all of cool vibe stairs there if somebody flanks. You can see all of main stairs there if somebody flanks. And the attackers have got no idea there's a camera here to begin with. And they will definitely cross this on the way. There's nowhere they can get past on the stairs without being seen. And the same with cool vibes. Just great flank cams. Now, the problem is that it's not like you have a good view of the defenders here. You're only going to see them come up this bit and up this bit quite quickly. So if you're not watching the cam, it's not like you're going to have loads of time to be able to spot them, if you know what I'm saying. They come past quite quickly, so you've got to have somebody watching the cams for sure. Ideal if someone's died early round, someone always gets peeked from Aquabel down here, right? Every time on your own team. It always happens. So if that does happen, they can get on these cams and just flick between them. Just do that and help the team out a little bit. Obviously, then you've got this cam here with insane information as well, so... just two really useful cams. Granted, you don't get a massive amount of time to spot the defenders, but they are never ever going to get destroyed. I'll show you what they look like, actually, from a defender's perspective. And why you'll never spot them. Up here. Like, when have you ever looked up there before? You've never looked up there, don't lie to me. And even when you're level, like, you've got to be really underneath to see it. It's the same with the one at Cool Vibes. Shall we spend the time going to Cool Vibes? Let's. What else are we going to do? Let's shoot the breeze. What have you had for your dinner? I had chicken and leek pie, and it was absolutely lovely. See the one for Cool Vibes? Even when you're on Cool Vibes, you're not going to see it. Even when you're at the bottom of Cool Vibes, you're not going to see it. It's only this one angle here. But when you get here on Cool Vibes as a defender, you're not looking here. You're looking at the rotate that's normally here, or someone going to vault over on from the little window area here. You're not looking up here. World-class camera spots. Use 0 more. And what did you have for your dinner? We're on to Kafe now, and I've shown this one a ton of times in different videos that I've done, but I'm going to include it in this as well. This camera, right at the start of the round, you want to be aiming for where the ceiling... Oh, this is the wall here, this is the ceiling, but the floor below. You want to get a bit tight of an angle as you can, really, and get tucked right in underneath. Wait until you get the confirmation that the camera can go through both floors, like we talked about on Coastline, and then look at what you get for this. Obviously, you can see pillar if you flick it down. If you flick it up, you can see all the new balcony, most of piano door, a bit of shop. You get so much information from this, and the beauty of it is it's hidden under the chair and under the table, so defenders aren't going to see it. It's a really, really good cam. I use it a lot, and I recommend you do too. Now, if we get inside, what you can also do is around the laundry area, depending where you enter the map, obviously. And this is another one of those where you fire it and you wait for a little bit of time before you send it through the floor. This is the corner of the cocktail area, so using the hatch as a reference, this is the other corner. Fire that. Make sure you get the confirmation it can go through both sides. Just gonna have a quick look at why you can't put it right in the corner. That's quite interesting. Or maybe it's because the table is in the way and there's like a bit of an architrave around the corner here. It must be something to do with like this corner and a bit of the table perhaps. But anyway, make sure you get the confirmation it can go through both sides. When there's about a minute left in the round and you're going for your execute, fire it through the floor and you've got all the information you could ever want on cocktail. You're going to have an echo or a maestro absolutely ratting it out somewhere between these cocktail tables. And someone told me the other day they didn't know what the callouts were for these, so whilst we're here we might as well talk about it, and these as well. So these are called B1 and B2. And the reason they're called B1 and B2 is because when you attack upstairs, there's a bomb here. So it's the bar that's next to the bomb, B1, the bar that's next to the bomb, B2. B1, B2. So if someone says they're behind B2, they're going to be here. If someone says they're in front of B2, they're going to be here. This is behind B1. This is in front of B1. Well, you mostly call this default plant anyway. Then over this side, this is called cocktail, right? So quite simply, B1, B2, we're now in cocktail, begins with a C. That means this is C1, C2, and C3. So if someone's behind C2, they're here. If someone's in front of C1, they're here. If someone's on top of C3, they're here. So C1, C2, C3. Counting left to right both times. So C1's to the left, counting to the right, and B1's to the left, counting to the right. Like you see people calling this C1, but it's not. This is C1. Don't know why we got onto that, but I've digressed. Look how well hidden that is. I don't care how much of a defender you think you are. You ain't seen that. Like even if you're holding top white, it isn't obvious, is it? Just a really good cam. But I mean, this one over here, if you can get this in at the start of the round, you're going to get so much information for the team. Make sure you do it as often as you can. You can also get various ones from the skylight. Do you know you can rappel at the skylight? I didn't find... no, I vaulted down. Andy, you buffoon. I'm not editing that out. That's staying in. I'm showing you that things don't always go to plan every single time. Anyway, you can rappel at the skylight, but I was going to show you that you can, a dead easy one from the skylight. You can just fire it on the bar. Make sure it's hidden amongst the bottles. Where's my rappel prompt? I tried to do this the other day, you know, when I was streaming. And why can't I get me rappel prompt? Hello? Can you not do it anymore? Wait, what? I tried to do this the other day, you know, and I vaulted over the side exactly like what I just did. Where's me rappel prompt? Okay, maybe a bit of testing required there. Does anyone know anything? Am I doing this wrong? Am I not underneath it? Oh, what was that then? Was that another vault command? Yeah, vault. I don't know, man. Maybe that's not a thing anymore. Interesting. I'll do some testing on that and come back to you. But whilst we're here, we might as well talk about it. Well, I mean, I don't need to rush it, do I? I'm sure you don't mind spending an extra 30 seconds whilst we just nip up to the roof. I mean, it's a dead obvious one. If you get this wrong, it's time packing plane 0, to be completely frank with you. From the skylight. Just make sure you get it hidden in amongst the bottles. It just gives you good information across pretty much everywhere on the site you need to look at, really. If you can get it tucked in, that's the key thing, because then you're not going to see it from here. Tuck it in as much as you can. Like, don't have it sticking out on the edge here. But it gives you a bit of information. But the thing is, we talk about all these cameras. It's very rare that you're going to be outside the front of the building there, underneath laundry there, and then also up on the skylight. But I'm just giving you a couple of options, all right? Get off my back. Nice one. That's Kafe. We're on to bank, and people who watch the stream have definitely seen me do this before, because this is the map I normally play 0 on most. From Jewelry Front Spawn, you can see the default cam in lobby, which is just there. You can then keep your cursor exactly where you destroyed the default cam. Like, don't move your mouse, don't move your controller. Go onto your 0 cams, fire one in, and look at the information you get around lobby. Absolutely insane. You've essentially replaced their default cam with your own. The default cam was there. It's insane. It always works. It rarely gets destroyed. In fact, I don't think I've ever had it destroyed. The other one you can do is, again, replacing a default cam with your own. Come here under square. If you didn't know this, you can shoot out the top right corner of the window there. You can shoot the default cam from there. Make the hole a little bit bigger. You can fire a 0 cam up into the corner as well. And now you've also got a top square cam, and you can worry about the square flank as well. You don't need... I mean, a drone this side is ideal, because you can see down the stairs as well. But being able to do that at the start of the round is wild. So you've instantly got a lobby cam and a top square cam, which is mad. When you're attacking open area, sorry, not attacking open area, when you're attacking basements and you need to take control of open area, there's a drone that most people will leave in the same spot every time, which is just through the open area doors behind this cabinet here. You can do exactly the same thing with a 0 cam. You just need to, like, get in close to it a little bit. I saw this on a TikTok video. I can't remember who it was. I'm not claiming this as my own, but it's the common drones. But anyway, fire it in behind. It's a really well hidden cam that gives you that main stairs flank here that you need. And it's really well hidden. Way more hidden than a drone, I personally think. Like, you can barely even see that, even though we know it's there. It's way more hidden than a drone. It's 3 spots on bank. This one, I'm not claiming as mine. Whoever that was. I did see it once about 6 months ago. Thanks very much. But, I mean, look at that. No defenders ever spotting that, are they? It just looks like it's part of the ceiling. Like, if you were just looking there, like, it just looks like it's part of the ceiling. It doesn't even look... Even if you heard the 0 cam go, like, where would you think it was? You can barely see it. So, so good. And you know what? You can get those 2 cams down within like 20 seconds of the round starting as well. So good. The final spot we'll talk about on bank, and quite embarrassingly, you'll probably realise down in the bottom right-hand side that I've still got 4 Argus cams, despite just showing some spots that use 3 Argus cams. And that's because when I was in here, I accidentally misclicked and fired the camera on the wall, so I've had to reload another round. Anyway, what I want to show you is another one of those fire the camera now, worry about it later type thing. This is the back corner of CEO. Just a quick one, by the way, about these archive walls. Don't be fooled by thinking that this line here is the edge of the reinforcement. It's not. The reinforcement is actually slightly further in. If I shoot this, you can see there that that's solid wall. So that's not where the reinforcement is. Like, you'll see an ash come below and fire the ash charge there because they think that's the reinforcement. It's not. It's just slightly further, and you can see the difference there. So what you want to do is come below to CEO, and obviously this gives it away now, but you can see the camera can't go through both ways there. It can do there. So just fire it in the corner of the room. And again, don't send it through at the start of the round. Wait until there's like a minute and a half left when you need the information for the site. And boom, there you go. I mean, loads of information about the back of CEO. You'll generally have somebody playing around here if this wall isn't open. Just gives you some decent info. Of course, what you can do is what we did on Chalet, but this is way more obvious, and fire it up into the corner of CEO there and get a decent angle that way as well. This will give you a miles better angle, but obviously it's much easier to see. When I say don't fire it at the start of the round, what I mean is you need to wait for things to happen before the defenders are not aware of noises like that going on. So once the execute is happening, once there's like breaches going off and people taking gunfights and call-outs on the enemy team, that's when you want to start poking these cameras through the floor. The other thing to think about as well is if you put that there at the start of the round, right, and we call out and I go, oh, there's a guy behind the bomb and there's a guy behind the bootcase. Nobody's anywhere near that information to be able to help. So calling that information out at the start of the round about information in sight is pointless because there's nobody there who can do anything about it, unless obviously there was a guy on the windows maybe. But generally on most maps, the sites don't have windows, typically. Sometimes. Some sites do. But do you know what I mean? If you're not there to take advantage of the information, don't risk losing the cam unless someone can do something with the information that you've got. I hope I've got that well across. We're on to Kanal now, and I just want to say, the last video that we did that included some Kanal strats, I think it was the thermite video, there was plenty of people in the comments saying they also like Kanal, so just listen. Everyone that likes Kanal is an alpha ranked player. We are the alpha ranked players, us Kanal enjoyers. So yeah, if you reached out saying I like Kanal as well, nice one. Anyway, you see these 4 windows? These look into sight. What we want to be doing is hitting the underside of the second one. Dead easy to do. You can do it right at the start of the round. Look at the info. Where the hell? I can't pull the camera down. What's going on? There we go. Lost my bearings a little bit then. Look at the information you get. The beauty of this, by the way, and the reason we picked the second window out of these 4 is because sometimes, depending on what the denial is on this wall, you can get a bandit battery on this little angle here, or you're going to see a cave claw on the wall maybe, but it just helps you out getting the denial off the wall sometimes. Now, just bear in mind, this is going to be seen and heard more than the other cameras that I've shown you in this video, because you're going to get somebody playing in this spot these days. With that Azami strat that you can do on Newbridge now, there's someone playing here. So if you can get here early and get the camera placed, it probably won't get seen. But if someone's already here and you put this camera here, it's going to get heard, but really useful one. The other one is just using a drone hole, and this can be utilized on loads of maps and loads of places. As long as you fire it on the floor at the right angle, you're going to see through drone holes. Now this one is a little bit more sneaky because there's a board in front of it. What you need to do is get like a bit of a tighter angle and make sure you don't hit the edge of the drone hole, because this does happen all the time. But you want to be aiming for the floor right behind the drone hole. And what this is going to give you is a shower flank. Now, granted, you can't see much here, can you? But you can't see it. That's the corner of the room there. But in fact, you know what? Let's just show you where that is. It's going to give you a shower flank. So if anyone's rushing through flowers, where's flowers on Kanal? Just vault over there, please, Zero. So this drone hole is at the back behind this board here in showers. And if you've got a defender that's running between lockers and between showers, you can see the cam just there. You're going to be able to see him late in the round. You can see me there. Ow. Oh, I hit myself right in the... Didn't mean to do that. But yeah, you can't see a great deal, but it gives you enough information. The defenders are never, ever going to see that, but it gives you enough information to know if someone's making that usual rotate that you get late in the round between showers and between lockers, or the other direction. Really, really useful. Again, a bit like the Coastline ones, you've got to be on it to be able to notice it, but it does give you a good little spot. Lads, I very nearly forgot to show you probably the coolest zero cam that ever exists, and I nearly forgot to show you. What you want to be looking for is this light here. Now, it works better from this angle. Come around here, look for the front of the light, get the camera on the front of the light, and it gives you a very similar view of the site of what you get on the window. Obviously, you're going to be able to see anybody stood up. Anyone crouched, you're not going to be able to see. You can see a little bit of the bomb site. It's just a really cool camera. It's never going to get seen. It's never going to get shot. Doesn't give you as much info as if you put it on the windowsill, but it's just cool to do. Imagine like winning around because you put a cam on this lamppost. It's just a fun one to try. I nearly forgot to add it in, but I'm glad I remembered. We're on to Clubhouse now, and when you're attacking CCTV, other than a hard breacher to open the main breach, or even construction wall if you're pushing that side, there's no better operator around here, I don't think, than Zero. Maybe Capitao, because you can use the bolts to clear rafters, but honestly, Zero around here is so good. So you want to use your hard breach charges to open the top right and bottom left. Make sure when you're rappelling on here to open this, you don't get peeked from master window or from gym window. And then what you want to do is you can also destroy the default cam from here, which is really useful. But you want to be peeking up onto CCTV window, but just be careful because this is not an easy fight to win. The defenders' bodies are going to be covered by the rafters and you're just all exposed out here. So just be careful peeking this. It's not always the best thing to do, really, but it does let the defender know that someone could be peeking it, and it just causes them a bit more of a problem. What you want to then do is get a camera up on this back wall. Now, ideally, you're going to team this, sorry, not team it, you're going to time it with a teammate who's going to open the garage door over there. And as they open the garage door, you're going to fire a cam up onto the windows there to give you a great view of rafters. If you do that without somebody opening the door, it's quite likely that'll get heard by the person playing rafters. But if you can get that up there without being seen or without being heard, and whilst the door's being opened, that'll last all around there and give you loads of good information until your solo queue teammates red ping on it, and that's a nightmare. The next thing you want to do is come into lounge through this door here, and you want to be... Let me take a drone up to where I want to show you this. I actually saw Kudos do this, actually, so if you don't follow Kudos on YouTube or Twitch, do so. Kudos R6. He's a top fella, met him at SI. I think I saw him do this first and find this spot, but just there, under the desk, on the one ping, it's right behind me here. It's roughly in the middle of the door, but again, wait until you get that 2 arrow indication that you can go through the other side of the wall. Fire it through. You get a really good bit of information about CC, or pretty much all of CC. You can probably even see a bit of rafters as well when the line of sight or the rotate is here as well. But again, quality information. Now, the other one you can do is also in here, and this is under another set of table and chairs. Let's send the drone around to have a look at that. Where's my drone? Here. Now, this can be a bit tricky at times because you don't want to get it in behind the bags and in behind the boxes because then you don't see much. You want it to be just right on the edge. And the way you do that is look at the wall. You see how the wall comes across and then kinks out? Well, that's exactly this here. The wall comes across and then kinks out. I don't know if you heard me dog just scratching or shaking his head behind me then, but the bell just rang and it might have come through the microphone if you were wondering what that was. So where the wall comes across and then kinks out, it's exactly the same there. So what you want to do is where the kink comes out, just a little bit further down behind the chair. So around this area, wait until you get your arrows pointing both ways. And again, turn that around and look at the information you're going to get in cache there. Now, again, this is one of those for a little bit later in the round. But don't forget on this as well, you can also use this as a decent flank cam. One, you're going to get information in sight. If you need information on anyone flanking below or anyone who's going to try and C4 below to deny the plant on the default spot, it's going to give information for that as well. Really good spots. On to Oregon. The first spot is here right on this radio. I'm just kidding. Shoot the radio. On to Oregon now, and I'm going to show you two really good spots you can get from below when attacking the top floor on Oregon. Enter through small tower. Obviously, drone yourself in, make sure everything's okay. Head toward kitchen, and there's two really good reference points to remember these. You want to be looking at this cooker head, or whatever you want to call this. I would call it like an extraction type thing. And this is where the bunk bed is above and close to the window. So this bunk bed here, look at the shadow that it's under there on that one ping. You can fire it there if you want to, or what I actually prefer is to use the hatch as a reference and just go just to the right of the hatch under this one here. I just feel like it gives you a little bit more information. So underneath, make sure you've got your arrows pointing both ways. Take it up. It's under the bed. It's really difficult to see. If if a defender doesn't hear it go down, it's definitely not going to be seen. Now, the only benefit with putting this one in, and I'll put it in as well, is depending on what the rotate looks like from the defenders, sometimes you can see through the attic rotate as well. Now that has a double-edged sword. That has a double-edged sword. That is a double-edged sword because I'm going to show you why. As a defender, it's much easier to see that cam if you're in attic looking back this way. So let's pretend there's a rotate here. We're out here in attic. It's a little bit easier to see that there. You're never looking over this direction. I mean, you can't even see that there, to be fair. But that one there is a little bit easier to see from attic. This is why I prefer this one. Now, the other one to do is going to be right here. And this is another really good spot downstairs, which gets a decent reference point. But it's right against the solid floor. It's just in the corner of the soft floor, and it's going to give you really good info. So if we go downstairs, I'll show you where it is. And again, these are ones that you're not going to fire up right at the start of the round. What you're looking for here is this lamp. So this is the trophy door right above us here. So we're just to the left-hand side of the trophy door. The trophy door itself is here. You can see, go upwards, sorry. And you can see to the right-hand side is the trophy door. Now, if you can, I would probably try and get it a little bit closer to the door, like this direction, but it's not too bad there. It's going to be very, very difficult for defenders to see that because they're not always looking down there. I mean, sometimes if they hear it, they'll find it. But again, look how inconspicuous this is. If you're a defender and you didn't know this was there, there's no way you even notice that because you're not looking anywhere near the bottom of that door. It blends in with the coat rack really well. Like, you're just not seeing that. I know we're looking at it going, oh, of course there's a zero cam there, an August cam there. But if you're a defender holding this angle, or if you're a defender holding that angle, or even this angle, and all the angles that you hold onto trophy door, including the one from attic, even from there, it just blends in well. It's a little bit more obvious from here, obviously, because it's bigger. But just three really good spots there. I prefer this one and this one. This one, like I say, does give you better info into attic. It's just a bit of a risk as to what you can see. You can still see the bottom of pit from this one as well, so just a bit more of a risk. Anyway, that's Oregon. So there we have it, Zero. He's right up there at the minute, man. He's so good. Like I said at the beginning of the video, responding to Lucid's comments, the amount of utility he brings, how good that utility is, and how well you can hide it, like we've just shown on some of the spots there, he's insane. If you're playing in a team of 2 or 3 people at least, gotta bring Zero, man. If you've watched the video for 10 seconds, if you've watched the video for 10 minutes, 10 hours, or if you've watched it 10 times, thank you. Thank you there behind the camera. The reason the channel's doing well at the minute is because people like you are watching it, and I'm really, really grateful. The numbers recently, I know I said it on the last video, but the numbers recently have been absolutely wild. Like, we're nearly hitting 500,000 views in 28 days. That's unfathomable for me. 6 weeks ago, we were on 120,000 views over 28 days, which I thought was really good. And we've like trebled that number, if not quadrupled that number. So thank you very much for getting involved. Thank you for watching and driving the engagement with likes and comments and shares and all that good stuff. Other than that, I'll see you on the next one. Cheers!